Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is George Lizos. I'm a spiritual teacher, intuitive, the author of Be the Guru and the #1 best-selling Lightworkers Gotta Work. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos and interviews all about finding and following your life purpose. Today I have with me Karen Kay. Karen Kay is the creator of Messages from the Mermaids and Oracle of the Fairies Oracle cards published by Hay House. Karen connects to mermaids, fairies, and elemental energies, including unicorns and angels. She's known as the Fairy Lady for her powerful connection to these magical beings. She hosts the Three Wishes Fairy Festival and is editor-in-chief of international fairy magazine, Fae, both celebrating all things fairy. She loves fairies, angels, mermaids, unicorns, and respects all paths of peace. A passionate nature lover, Karen's friendship with the fairies began as a young child in her grandmother's garden, where she used to collect rose petals to make perfume for the flower fairies. She's related to renowned fairy poet and author Walter de la Mare. She first connected with mermaids when she moved to Cornwall in the 90s. Not only is Karen an author, she's also a singer and musician in her own right and creates fairy music and meditations in Cornwall, UK. This is a far cry from her former life as a BBC News editor. Karen, hello, welcome to my channel.
Oh, hi, George. Hello, everyone.
It is so great to be here with you. This is, I think, the third time I'm interviewing you for one of your creations. The first time we talked about how to become a fairy. We talked all about your work with the Three Wishes Fairy Festival and your Fae magazine. Then we talked about the Oracle of the Fairies, which I love and I use so often. And now I'm so excited to be chatting about your newest creation, the Messages from the Mermaids Oracle cards published by Hay House. We both know I love mermaids as well. Yeah. I love connecting with them. I love teaching about them. And I'm so excited to finally have a deck that I can use to connect with them. So I want to jump in straight away by asking you, like, for those of the people watching right now who don't know who the mermaids are or what the mermaids can help us with, who are the mermaids and what are they here to do for us? How can we work with them?
Okay, so the mermaids are guardians of the ocean. That's their main role. The same way, in a similar way that the fairies are guardians of the land, the mermaids are guardians of the ocean. There are many other guardians of the ocean. It's just that I have this strong pull and connection with the mermaids, who are one of the guardians of the ocean, shall we say. Now, they can help us because they're fluid, they're in the water, they're flowing. It's about emotions, it's about sensuality, it's about the heart energy, it's about love, it's about spirituality, it's about being free, flowing in life. So they can actually help us and teach us quite a lot of their, what I call watery wisdom. And it's also not only how they can help us, but how we can help them. And that's another kind of story, but just looking at ways that we can look at our impact on the ocean from a personal, individual level, the chemicals that we're using, single-use plastics, that kind of thing. But as I said, that's another story. But yeah, we can work with them, they can work with us. It's almost like a symbiotic relationship.
I love that you brought in how we can help them as well, because usually when we connect to spirit guides, we're all about, okay, what can I get from this spirit guide? How can this spirit guide help me? And as you mentioned, as well as you just mentioned, like the elementals specifically, because they are spirits of nature, they demand to be respected as well. I remember last year I went to a beach here in Cyprus and I saw so much microplastic just washing up on the shore, and I connected with the energy of the mermaids there, and I could see them suffering and just feeling like, okay, we need your support. So I was wondering whether we can talk a little bit about that. What can we all do to start helping the mermaids as well as receiving their help?
Yeah. Well, for very basically and simply, look at what we're using within our own homes, the products, the chemical products, see if we can swap things out for more environmentally eco-friendly products. There's lots of tutorials on YouTube about how you can make your own cleaning products, and then look at your use of plastic. Can you again swap things out and use things that are in a paper bag or something? I don't know if you can hear, somebody's decided to mow the lawn outside.
Maybe to like draw their point on this topic. Don't worry, I can't hear anything.
Okay, fab. Yeah, so we can take, because often we think, what can I do? I'm just one person in this big wide world. How can I make a difference? But we all really can make a difference. And it does start with the individual taking responsibility for our impact on the environment. And in this case, specifically the ocean.
And it's so much easier than I've personally thought. I remember last month, I had another lady on my podcast who created natural cleaning products. And then I just YouTubed it. And I'm like, it was so easy to create. I created 3 products that I use for everything right now. It's just water with lavender essential oil, water with vinegar and lavender, and then water, lemon juice, vinegar and lavender. And I can use this for everything. It's so simple, rather than just using all the toxins and just poisoning the ocean and the mermaids.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Yeah, and also just let me say that it not only helps the ocean, but that helps the fairies and their environment too.
Yeah, it's all interconnected. And ourselves, since we're like elemental beings too.
Yes.
So how do you personally connect with the mermaids? And what are some fun ways we can use to start connecting with the mermaids as well?
Okay, so personally, I'm very blessed because I live very, very close to the sea. It's a short walk away. I've got several beaches because I'm based in Cornwall in the UK, and there's a lot of ocean around. So I will go to the ocean. I like to immerse myself, even if it's just my feet. But if I go to the ocean, part of me will have to physically connect with the water of the ocean. And I know that isn't possible for everybody if you're living in the middle of a city or you're not able physically to get to an ocean. I appreciate that. So there are ways that we can all do it. If we're not lucky enough or blessed to be near a physical ocean, we can actually do this with visualization. And also something that I did recently, it was for the opening ceremony for the cards, the launch of the cards. And I created, I've got it's my little mermaid dish that was handcrafted by somebody in Glastonbury. And I put organic sea salt on it and purified water, and I mixed it up, and then I took a bit on my finger and I placed it on my third eye. And I've actually got the thing that I said here. So as I placed it on my third eye like this, and we can all do this, with water and salt to symbolize sea, mermaid wisdom resides within me.
Oh, wow.
I'm tingling so much. It's so powerful. And that just came. I get my inspiration before I do anything to do with mermaids. I take what I call a mermaid bath. So that's just a normal bath with sea salt and mermaidy type candles and shells, and just put it all around to really get the vibe. And I also, every time I go to the beach, I bring some sand home with me and I sprinkle sand, so you've got the direct physical connection, which enhances your spiritual and psychic connection. So it's like a direct route. And also like, hello, like, there you go. We've all got our shell phones and we can talk directly to the ocean, the mermaids, and the energy of the sea. So we can all do it. That's just a few ways that I do it.
Oh my God, I love it. And I do the same thing because I live on an island. So I go to the beach weekly now. So what I like to do always, my favorite activity on the beach is to collect shells, bring them home. I have them everywhere and like sprinkle sand everywhere. It's such a fun way to connect. And even people who don't have access to the ocean or the sea on a daily basis, I mean, if you go for a visit once, just get some water and have it in a glass bottle, and then you can use it to just infuse yourself with the energy. Such a powerful way to connect. The mermaid cards, I'm wondering what was the inspiration behind creating these cards? And by the way, they are so beautiful, and I think it's worth mentioning the creator, the artwork is by Linda Olsen. It's different from the Oracle of the Fairies, which was a mixed media used to create the cards. These are all hand painted, gorgeous images. What was the inspiration behind creating this deck?
Well, as you know, and many people that know me, I have always had this connection with the mermaids, and it was the natural thing to do after creating the fairy oracle, which is obviously another close, you know, they're close to my heart. The mermaids are equally as close to me, and it just felt like a natural thing to do, so that's the way I flowed. It was interesting because I was going through some emotional stuff at the time, so the timing of it all, even though I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going through all this stuff and I've got to do this deck, but it actually made the whole process flow even deeper, even stronger. So every single message, every single card is from direct experience. So, you know, very often you can read things and you think, well, has that person who's written that actually experienced that? And I can say with my hand on my heart that I have experienced the things in the deck. So, and actually it was a way of healing myself while I was creating the deck and connecting through with the mermaids. And I want to say that they were channeled, but I was present too, so it was kind of the mermaid energy channeling through me, but I was there too, so I didn't get out the way, I was there, so it came through my vessel, if you like. And they just wanted to be born, you know. There's a powerful energy with the mermaids, even though they're gentle as well. There is a force and a power that just wanted to come through, and basically there was no stopping them.
Definitely, and it comes forth in the cards so beautifully. You have male mermaids, mermen, which is something that finally someone created a deck that includes male mermen as well as mermaids of all different races and shapes. Why was it important for you to do this?
Well, I wanted everybody to be able to connect with the cards. And, you know, don't get me wrong, I love seeing slim, blonde, young mermaids. I love that. But I also want to feel that I'm being represented too. And I know that the world is so diverse, and no two people are the same. We're all different ages, shapes, sizes, etc. And we want to feel represented. And I wanted to do that as best I could. And so, I mean, Linda Olsen, the artist, is incredible. She has really captured the different nationalities. I won't go through them all because you'll see them in the cards, but there's so many different nationalities and skin colors and ages and shapes and sizes. And as you said, mermen too. And yeah, it's just so great. And the timing, because I started work on this deck a year ago.
Yes.
I had no idea that the hashtag Black Lives Matter conversation was going to be happening exactly at the time that the cards were released. So it feels like very divine timing. And I've had so many positive, wonderful messages from people that said, thank you for seeing me, thank you for representing me, thank you for being so inclusive in what you've put out there. So yeah, I'm so pleased, and it is so important. And I'm sure there are other decks out there that are inclusive also, but for me, this is the way forward, and I want that diversity and people to just feel represented, seen and heard.
And that's like the message that the mermaids want to like share as well, that it's not just one type of sea that's beautiful. It's all beautiful seas and oceans that are beautiful. And this diversity that exists so naturally in nature exists within us as well, because we are part of nature. We are part of the ocean too. I think the mermaids really wanted this deck to come out during this time. Okay, so how can we work with the decks? Of course, we can use them to give ourselves readings, but are there other ways we can use them for?
Yeah, of course. So what I say is that you'll feel drawn to certain cards, like that's natural with any deck, but within this deck there are certain cards that will just speak to you a little bit louder than the others. They all speak and they all resonate, but some cards will just hit the spot, if you like. And so take the card that you feel. You can either do it by shuffling and letting the mermaids tell you which card, you know, they want you to connect with, or you can physically choose that. So hold them in your hand to your heart and feel what card you want to work with, and then take the card and then place it, if you've got an altar, place it on the altar, place it by the side of your bed, and gaze at that card. And perhaps you can even take it out with you when you go out to really connect with the energy and the deeper message of what the card is. In the guidebook, I do go into a lot of detail, but there's even more, you know, with the mermaids. As you know, when you're working with this energy, it goes deeper and deeper and deeper. And it's like layers of an onion, if you like. There's just more and more and more. So we have the surface of the sea, if you like, and then we can dive deeper into it. So it's basically just as deep as you want to go with the cards, you can. There's no limits, basically.
And speaking of the mermaids choosing the cards, I want to share the story I shared with you before we started about how this specific card chose me. So, and I'm talking about the future card. So last weekend I was on the beach and I told Karen I'm taking my cards with me. I'm going to do a little photo shoot. So I dropped my cards there on the cliff, like the sea was underneath, taking pictures. And then suddenly a gust of the wind comes, blowing the card into the water. And without thinking it, I just jumped in to save the mermaid. I had no way to get back up on the coast because I was on a cliff, and like I could have hurt myself if there was like rocks, like shallower rocks underneath, but I couldn't care less. I'm like, I need to save the card. So I jumped in, I saved the future, and then I had no way to get out. And I started shouting it to my friend, like, Sargis, come help me, get me out. And then I had to be saved as well, which made for a funny story. And it sort of marked the card a little bit because I can see it's a little bit, it has like a wet feature. But that's when I realized I was meant to pick this card for a reason. Those were the mermaids signaling out this card and asking me to look within and look at my future. And maybe I was future tripping. Maybe I was not focusing enough on the future or obsessing about the future. The message came in. And what I want to do right now, I want to choose a few cards that I like from the deck. And maybe you can share something about why you chose to create this card and what the message is before that. Mm-hmm. So the first one I want to touch on is discernment. Now, discernment comes up a lot, especially in conversations around judgment. Are you judging or are you discerning? So what do you feel is the message that the mermaids want to convey with regards to discernment?
Okay, so discernment and judgment are two very different things, because when we're using discernment, that is very closely connected with our intuition as well as our rational mind. And we're looking deeply at whatever it is that we're looking at. We're not judging it. We're kind of separating our judgment from true seeing, like true looking at the situation, whatever it might be, and discerning, using that intuition along with our intellect, our mind, in harmony, without letting our judgments come in or cloud the situation. Because sometimes when the judgments come in, you're projecting something onto it. So it's discernment is about true seeing without that judgment or being clouded by it.
Separating the ego from the intuition, essentially.
Yeah.
And how about support? I love this card. How can the mermaids support us when we're going through something hard, for example, especially with regards to like romantic relationships or like emotions?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's some energy in that card. Those women, you would feel safe with them supporting you, wouldn't you? I mean, they are powerful mermaids, and they come in to support you through the journey of your heart and your heartbreak, if that's what you're particularly looking at. So anybody that's experienced heartbreak or emotional turmoil will know that it is challenging and it's hard to switch off. So they help us to not switch off, but to feel it and to let it flow and support us during that process, so that we are not cutting off these emotions. We're feeling them, and the way through it is to feel your way through it and not suppress it. Because when we suppress, it creates this kind of, I don't know what it's, tsunami or whatever, that just wants to come through. But we just allow it and feel the pain. If there's pain there, feel it, and that's the way to release it, to actually go through it. And they can help us. That's the support that they can give us when we're going through these type of things.
That is so powerful, because so many times we're taught to deny our feelings. People tell us like, don't cry, no, it's fine. But sometimes we need to cry and let those oceans of tears come forth and release all the limiting beliefs and emotions that we're feeling. And the last card I want to share is the Move Forward card, which is this beautiful merman, which it could be Poseidon. Would you say it's Poseidon? Is that Poseidon? Was that?
I would say he's got the very similar energy to Poseidon. Yes. And he's so, because some people have said, well, why doesn't he have a tail? Well, because his card is moving forward. And he needs legs to stride forward, and it's like he's got that balance between the mer energy and the human energy, because mermaids are half human, aren't they, as well? And he's developed his land legs, so he's ready to move forward and taking those huge strides, and so he can't be contained by the tail. He needs the legs. And he's boldly walking forward, isn't he? And you'd be very confident walking alongside him, for sure.
Yes, and I love this masculine energy of water that you brought into these cards, where it's not just about feeling our emotions. Is that feeling our emotions and then taking action to create change. And this is what I feel like connecting with this beautiful card over here. Okay, so to finish this beautiful interview, I was wondering whether you can guide us through a beautiful short meditation to just connecting with the mermaid energy.
Yes, I would love to. And I can't believe it's gone so quickly again.
I know, right?
Oh, gosh. Okay, so let's get ourselves comfortable and just relax and start to breathe deeply and slowly. And as you're breathing in, breathe in love, light, and peace. And as you're breathing out, release any cares and concerns. And breathing in love, light, and peace. And breathing out any cares or concerns. And once again, breathing in love, light, and peace, and breathing out any cares and concerns. And then feel this energy. This is your energy. It's peaceful, full of love. And we're going to visualize a bubble around us. A mermaid's bubble, keeping us safe, protected, and loved during this meditation. Only love can enter this space. Everything else is kept at bay. Now see yourself on a beach. It's a beautiful day. The sun is shining. The waves are slowly kissing the shore, flowing in and flowing out, flowing in and flowing out. You're in an idyllic scenario and you feel so peaceful. You look to the distance and you see some splashing and a tail coming out of the water and splashing around. And as you look closer, you see that it is a mermaid or a merman. And they wave to you and they start to swim slowly towards the shore. As they get closer to you, they gesture to you to walk into the sea, just up to your ankles, and you feel the connection with the ocean. You are at one with the ocean. The mer being looks deep into your eyes and tells you that your essence is of the sea, and that you can connect with this power, this powerful energy of the ocean at any time, just through the power of your mind, just through visualization. The merfolk, the merpost person then places their hand into the water and lifts up a pearl, and they hand it to you. And this is a pearl of wisdom. It's an ethereal pearl, and they hold it up to you and place it against your heart. And then it goes into your heart area. And this is the mermaid's watery wisdom, filtered through your heart chakra. And the mer person then looks at you and gestures to you to use this pearl of wisdom wisely within your daily human life. And they wave to you, and then they swim off into the distance. You then sit with this beautiful energy for a few more moments. And if you wish to retain this pearl of wisdom within your heart, then do so. And if you would rather release it back into the ocean, then you may do this too. Do whatever feels right for you in this moment. And if it's not right for you now, then you can always come back and receive the pearl of wisdom at another time. Whew. And then open your eyes and place your hands into the sand. And then take your finger and pop the bubble that you're in. And then you're back in the room.
Oh my goodness, that was so beautiful. I could feel such strong connection with the sea. I was right back on the beach I go to every weekend, and I could feel my heart opening. And I did a mermaid meditation on the beach the other day, and that was the same mermaid I connected with back then, came in my meditation right now, which shows to everybody wanting to connect with mermaids, like you don't need to be at the ocean to connect. You can just close your eyes, go there, either choose an ocean that you want, a beach that you want, and just connect with the mermaids there. Karen, thank you so much for joining us today.
Pleasure.
Please tell everyone where they can get your cards, the messages from the mermaids, and where can people get in touch with you?
Okay, so the cards, messages from the mermaids, are available pretty much everywhere. Amazon is an obvious place because no matter where you're listening or watching from, there's normally an Amazon in your country or certainly near. Any good bookshop, most bookstores online as well, and obviously through hayhouse.com or hayhouse.co.uk. I am very active on social media, as you know, George,
Yes.
and all of my social media handles are now the same. So I am at Karen K Fairy, and that is the traditional spelling of the word fairy, Fairy. And I also have a website, which is karenk.co.uk, and I really welcome interaction. I love chatting to people and talking about elementals, mermaids, fairies, unicorns, whatever. I love it. So do reach out, and I look forward to hopefully hearing from some of you.
Yes, and go ahead and order the messages from the mermaids cards, and you'll find all the links that Karen mentioned as well in the show notes below. Karen, thank you so much for joining us. Wishing you a lovely rest of your day.
Oh, thank you, George. Take care. Bye, everyone.